Welcome back to the SMT YouTube channel. It's really good to have you guys for this one. I wanted to discuss the AT&T copper network, which is, I don't know, just decommissioned for the most part, and that'll continue. There's certain parts of the country where it is still operational, and there's certain places where AT&T kind of has to be careful with certain things, and there's a lot of regulatory items that they have to address. But anyways, for what it's worth, AT&T is doing its part to prepare themselves to be ready for this. And what I mean by this is you have to provide people with a service option if you're going to decommission a legacy network like the copper piece, right? When you think about AT&T's DSL reach, it was massive. It was built over several decades, and now with all of that kind of being in the rearview mirror, the shift has gone completely to fiber. And in some places, I'm telling you guys, AT&T, I don't care what they say, they are not going to put fiber. They just won't. A lot of places will get it, and a lot of places will not. And then the wireless network becomes the main piece in that instance. So their 5G network is something that they're addressing. It's getting modernized. It's being converted from Nokia to Ericsson in a lot of places. That will upgrade the network, gets the sites modernized, gets a lot of new bandwidth on air. And to follow up on that, AT&T is also boosting its network by making purchases, signing lease agreements to get additional bandwidth that they could put on air. And then they could sell their AT&T Internet Air, which is their 5G home internet service. Now, there's a couple of things we got to be mindful of. While they are addressing the network piece, they have to be careful in terms of how they sell this, in terms of the efficiency side of it. You have to think about it like this. When you build a network, you're taking bits and pieces of spectrum from all these different entities, all these different auctions, moving it from 4G to 5G, all these different situations and scenarios. Sometimes the spectrum is not contiguous. And when it's not contiguous, the configuration won't permit it to be as efficient. This is something that we've talked about in previous videos, how the T-Mobile 5G network through the 5G UC with N41. In some places, it's very fragmented. In some places, they don't have a lot of bandwidth. So they have to densify and build more sites. You know, places they only have 90 megahertz of N41. Some places they only have 80, right? And previous to that, they only had 40 or 60 because they were not able to lease or make purchase agreements or didn't hold it there. And then, you know, they set up these long-term leases and other things, and, you know, they've got guard band issues in certain places. My point is they're constantly dealing with these network technicalities. AT&T will be no different. It's good that they're getting additional N77 through the 3.45 gigahertz. You guys know it as DoD. They had 40 megahertz from the auction. They got 20 megahertz in lease access, dealing with Sonic Wave and all these other grain management. Whoever owns the licenses, they're going to try to make deals with them. But in some instances, it will not be contiguous, and there are going to be multiple N77 carriers required, different channels broadcasting, which AT&T's egg, which is the modem and the gateway that they give to people to get the 5G home internet service into their homes, that's not capable of many channel aggregations where you got to combine all those little bits and pieces. So they've got to be careful with this. We'll monitor this situation closely. It's good to see the copper networks getting decommissioned, and they'll have a solution for people. But let's be truthful about this. We have to see some upgrades happen at AT&T for the hardware that they give customers. As their network becomes more complicated, they're going to have to do better in giving customers more capable hardware at home for the 5G home internet. You can't just give someone an outdated modem that can only aggregate 2 channels or 3 channels of NR when you're going to be broadcasting 4 or 5, right? Because they're going to be doing like N5, N2, and they might have 3 N77 channels, right? It'll be the C-band for 80 megahertz. It'll be DoD for 40 of their own, and then they're going to get additional bandwidth from another company, which is going to be non-contiguous, broken up between the 2 channels. It's just, you're going to have a better solution. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this. Drop me some comments, like, share, subscribe. Check out some more videos. We'll see you guys soon on the next one.